Thanks so much, David. It's always so good to be with you. Hello, beloved community. All right, so my topic today is your divine heritage. Earlier in the week, I had it titled Your Divine Inheritance. And then I had an aha, and it was no, call it, wasn't more like it was more like a banging over the head. Call it heritage, not inheritance. Because inheritance is wonderful, we inherit money, we inherit trait personality traits, we inherit all kinds of things, but the word inheritance implies being given by someone else. The word heritage, it's like that's in my essence, that's in my DNA, my heritage. That's I have a whole line of ancestry, and all of those ancestors are in my heritage. That's my heritage. And so the word heritage for me really denotes the fullness of being something. It denotes my spiritual DNA. So that's what we're going to talk about today, your spiritual DNA and what that means. I want to begin with a story. And the story is a Hindu legend. Some of you may have heard it before. And the god Brahma, the main god, the head honcho Brahma, first of all of the people knew they were gods at that particular point in time in this legend. They knew they were gods, but somehow they misused that knowledge. And so Brahma decided, I'm going to take that awareness away from them. I'm going to take that divinity away from them. And so he did. And then he got this council of gods together. And he said, so I'm taking this away from them, and I want to hide it where they probably can't find it. And so he said, and I need some advice. Where do you think I should hide this? Well, first of all, they said, well, dig real deep into the earth, to the center of the earth, and hide it there. And Brahma said, mankind is, they're going to eventually figure out how to get there, and they're going to be able to do that. And so they said, okay, then what about at the very bottom of the ocean, on the ocean floor, hide it on the ocean floor? And Brahma said, no, no, because they're definitely going to be able to figure out someday how to get down to the ocean floor. And so then they said, well, how about hiding it on the highest mountaintop in the world? And Brahma said, no, he said, eventually somebody's going to be able to scale that high mountaintop. They'll find it there too. So they're all in a dilemma, like, well, where can we hide this divinity? And Brahma said, I know, hide it where they will least look for it, where they will least expect to find it. And he said, we're going to hide it within themselves. And so they hid the divinity within humanity. And ever since then, as the legend goes, humanity's been searching here, there, and everywhere for it to no avail, because we can't find it outside of ourselves. So I love that story because it speaks to how challenging it can be to find that divinity within for many, many people. And many, many people haven't found it yet. And so because of that, people look for love in all the wrong places, look for money in all the wrong places, look for success in all the wrong places, look for fulfillment in all the wrong places, look for happiness in all the wrong places, and the list goes on and on and on. And as you and I both know, I'm speaking to the choir here, I think, as you and I both know, to look outside of ourselves for any of that is is futile, because that's not where we find it. I think a lot of it, well, I'm just to speak for myself. At one time in my life, I thought I had to find all those things outside myself. Now, mind you, I was raised in a very strong Catholic family, had a deep spirituality, was in a convent for 9 years as a Roman Catholic nun, so I was doing deep inner spiritual work. However, I still hadn't caught, I knew that God was in me, but I hadn't caught that God is my heritage, that God is who and what I am. It's more than just within me. Because in the convent, I learned that and practiced that really, really well, you know. And then getting into our teaching, it's like, yes, God's within. However, God is all of me. I'm not all of God. God is all of me. And what that means is that we are created, and you've all heard this a million times, we're all created in the spiritual image and likeness of the divine. All that is true of God is true of each and every one of us. Now, what does that mean? That means that all of the love, all of the joy, all of the peace, all of the harmony, all of the creativity, all of the wisdom, all of the intelligence, all of the abundance, all of the wholeness, and then fill in whatever words you want to fill in there. It's all present within, and I'm not going to find it in a lasting, satisfying way from outside of myself. I've tried that, believe me, done that, believe me, and what I have discovered for myself over the years practicing is that the more I am in tune with my divine self, with my divinity, the more I know who I am, the more that spirit manifests itself in my life. And I'm these days, it's for a long time now. I've never gone for the manifestation. It's going for the expression because we are here to be spirit on this earth plane. I often think that we're the way that God experiences itself in human form, in physical form. And I love that. So, God gets to experience itself as you, as me, as the next door neighbor, as the person who gets on your last nerve, as everybody. And so it's all about coming into agreement with that. And it takes time sometimes. I mean, I know a lot of people have powerful aha experiences. I know somebody that had an experience when she was very young, and it was such an intense experience of oneness. And she's still working at embodying it. See, so we can have the experience, we can have the revelation, and we need to continually work with it. We need to continue, at least that's my experience. I need to continually pay attention to it, give my attention. Because again, we know that saying, where our attention goes, the energy flows. Where my attention goes is what I'm saying to the universe. This is what I'm interested in. And the universe goes, oh, you're interested in that. And then I get provided insights, I get provided demonstrations, I get provided people to assist me, I get provided financial support, I get provided all kinds of things, but it starts with me knowing who and what I am. So I'm telling you, ever since, gosh, at least since I got in this teaching, which is 1979, and probably before that, my daily meditations are always with the one intention to know the presence, to realize the presence ever more deeply within myself. Because I know that no matter how much I know it, how much I feel it, how much I sense it, there's always more to know, you know, because the presence is so infinite, so spacious, so awesome that I'm continually unfolding into that awareness. So so this is what it's all about. It's about becoming, and not really becoming because we're already being it, becoming aware of who and what we are to the degree that we just stand strong in who we are. And that's real authenticity, actually. That's really knowing ourselves, to stand strong in who and what we are. And that grows. And the pitfall here sometimes for those of us who are intensely deliberate, about our spirituality and intensely practicing. And I say this from experience too. The pitfall can be sometimes that we judge ourselves as not being as far along as we think we should be, or if we have what looks like a setback. Oh dear, I'm not really. I've trans. I can't think of the word right now, but I've gone backwards. You can't go backwards. It's like when a toddler or a baby starts to stand up and walk, they're going to fall a few times, right? And we don't say, "Oh, that's so horrible. They fell. They failed." No, it's just that's the journey. That's a progress along the way. So I'm encouraging you today to dive deep within yourself. If the only affirmation you ever say is, I am the presence, I am spirit, that's enough. Because you need to just keep saying it, saying it, saying it, sitting with it, embodying it. You know, a traditional form of meditation is just asking yourself, who am I? Who am I? Who am I? And that's a powerful way to open ourselves. You see, when we open ourselves to a greater realization of who we are, and the universe gets that, wow, she really is intent upon knowing who she is. He really is intent upon knowing who he is. They really are intent upon knowing who they are. When the universe gets that, you know, it responds because that's its nature. It's always giving, it's always responding. So that's my first point. Just, I encourage you to just be very intentional and don't give up when it feels dry. I don't know about all of you, but I have had times in my practice where for months it can seem dry, where it can just seem like I'm sitting here meditating. What's happening? Nothing just seems to be happening. But I know at this point in my unfoldment, I know that something is happening. And it's happening at a very deep level that I don't know, I'm not aware of. But it is happening because we can't put that intention out. We can't meditate upon these things and not have growth happening. And there are going to be those times, there are going to be the ups and downs. There, you know, oftentimes what I've noticed in spiritual growth is that we have a strong intention about something and we seem to be getting results right away and everything seems to be unfolding beautifully, and then all of a sudden it's kind of flat, and I call that the plateau kind time. I don't know if any of you have experienced this, but I've experienced it in working with clients. I notice they experience it too. And then that flat time can seem dry. It can seem like no progress is being made. And the reality is that you have become so in tune with your intention and it has manifested in you so strongly that you don't feel it anymore. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, it's like, let me try to think of an example. It's like, if I want to be a baker, this is something that I really don't care a bit about. But anyway, if I decide I want to be a good baker, you know, and I want to make these great pies, you know, and everything, and I start working on it, and then I get satisfaction with it, and people are buying the pies and all this, it can seem humdrum after a bit. It can seem humdrum because I have excelled so much in it at that point, you know. And so then what happens is we get disappointed and thinking that we aren't progressing. Then the next level presents itself. So maybe after the pie thing, I'm totally out of my realm here, but anyway, after the pie thing, maybe I decide I want to do something more extravagant in the baking field, you know. And so then I go through the same process, you know, and then I grow and I get onto that plateau, and then, you know, it's like, oh, nothing's happening, and there's an intention that wells up in me. I want something to be happening. This is calling me. And see, I didn't intend, by the way, to say any of this, but anyway, that's what's being called forth right now in this moment. So, so I'm saying all of that to not to stay inspired, and that's a good reason to keep coming to spiritual community, by the way, to the beloved community, to stay inspired, because sometimes we can feel like we aren't really progressing, we aren't, like we're going backwards. That's not happening. The fact that you're here tells me it's not happening. So, and it's a continual realizing more and more and more and more deeply, more expansively, that I am the presence of the divine. I am that I am. Ernest Holmes has this beautiful reading in the Science of Mind text. It's my favorite part of the text. I almost have it memorized, but every once in a while I forget parts. But it starts out with, I am. What more can I say? I am. It is enough. And it's so beautiful. It's very short. It's poetic. It's lovely. But that's the truth. You are. You are enough. And so the next point is, can I totally embrace my divinity? Can I totally receive that about myself? There were times in my life when I felt so unworthy, so undeserving. You know, I was raised Catholic after all. You know, all that guilt stuff. But it doesn't take being raised Catholic or Jewish or anything else. because that's part of the race consciousness. So so we get to look at all of those places in us that say, that can't really be true of me. Or yeah, God's in me, but God really isn't me. It's not who I truly am. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And so in order to receive all of the goodness, all of the grace, all the magnificence to the fullest, we need to accept that about ourselves. We need to know that we're worthy, that we are absolutely precious in the sight of the divine. We are so precious that it has brought us to this earth plane to be it. Imagine that, you know? Imagine that. I mean, just when you think of something maybe you've created, whether it's a thing, whether it's an art piece, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a song, whether it's whatever it is, you know, we don't turn against that which we create. And spirit is always, always giving. That's its nature. God is love. And to me, what that means is God is continual givingness. Yeah, I can't outgive God, you know. God's simply always loving, always giving. And so we are always, if we want to use, and again, God isn't a person, but to use this analogy, we're always in the arms of God. We're always in the heart of God. That's who we are. That's, you know, and how can it be any other way? Because it's what we are. It's not going to turn against what its expression of itself. It's only going to support its expression of itself. And when we say, yes, I'm accepting who and what I am, even if we don't feel it in the moment, I know I'm worthy, I know I'm deserving, then again, life, the law, spirit, whatever we want to call it, is in our corner and saying, yes, 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 yes. And I'm talking about what my experience has been. I'm not just talking about theory here, but that's the experience, you see, from somebody who I think I came out of the womb worrying, honestly, because I can see Christine nodding her head too. Ever since I was a little kid, I worried, I worried, I worried, and God knows what that was about. Who knows if it was a former life thing or what it was, you know. And then you too, David, and then being Catholic and all the things that I could possibly go to hell for. That was really terrifying, you know, and worrying about that. And I remember right before I got into New Thought, I was reading a book by what's his name? Your hmm, what's his name? Shoot. Anyway, Wayne Dyer. Yeah, I was reading a book by him, and the first sentence in this particular chapter said, "Worry is a waste of energy." And I looked at that, and something it just resonated somehow. I probably read that a million times before, but you know, and I just was okay. That's it, and I just stopped. And you know, God is so for us, and the universe is so for us that honest to God, I haven't worried a day since then. Even people will say, well, aren't you worried about your daughter's doing this or whatever? No, no, because I know spirit is my life, spirit is her life. Spirit's on the field here. Spirit knows what it's doing here, you know? Um, yeah, why did I go onto that track? Anyway, so just letting go and knowing that we are so blessed that there's nothing we have to even worry about. And that can take time. I didn't realize that till I was in my 40s. You know, this isn't something that happened in my 20s. It was in my 40s. And yeah, so knowing who you are, accepting who you are, feeling worthy of who you are, all of that is part of the process. And one of the reasons we can let go of any sense of worthiness, unworthiness or undeservingness is because we know that spirit gives unconditionally to all of us alike. Unconditionally. In other words, you know, the God I grew up with said, if you're good, you know, this stuff will happen. If you're bad, this horrible stuff will happen. No, the God I know, spirit, pure energy, the life force of the universe, gives unconditionally. It does not discriminate. And so it gives alike to all of us. We all have the allness and the goodness and the greatness of the divine. And so, that can support us in knowing that we're always cared for, we're always loved, we're always supported, always, always, and that we are given everything that we need to live our life, our vision, our mission on this earth plane. Everything you need to live your purpose here is given. And I am telling you, sometimes it's a surprise what you discover your purpose is. It was for me. I was real shy when I was younger. I didn't want to talk in front of people. Here I am. Honestly, Joan could not have done this. This is God. And have you all had things in your life that perhaps you felt you couldn't do, and you find yourself doing it? I'm sure the songs that Gary writes, it's like, wow, because I know I don't know Gary real well personally at all, but I do know, I think I know his consciousness, and I think he's very aware that spirit is moving through him. You know, uh, David, when he speaks, spirit moving through him. The practitioners, the prayer chaplains, all of you who do your prayer, who pray, you know that it's spirit moving through you. And isn't that wonderful? My heritage is divine. Spirit in me as me is doing the appointed task here. And so it's up to us to simply say yes, to simply know who we are, to stand in that truth and know who we are. Yeah, so there's a receptivity that we take on, because honestly, isn't it? I think it's in the Science of Mind that Ernest Holmes talks about. We have to be receptive. If we're not open and receptive, perhaps we'll miss the gifts that are here for us. When we're open and receptive and knowing who we are, that's a beautiful formula for real success. It's a formula for activating the love that's already in your heart. It's the formula for activating the abundance and prosperity that's already within you. It's the formula for loving relationships, because the love in you wants to express. That's its nature. It's the formula in you that creates, and we're all here to create. For years I didn't think I was creative, and then I realized, oh, it doesn't mean I'm creating an art piece here. Your life is a creation. And so to be receptive, to realize it, to know that, my last point, to know that we are here to expand the infinite. No, to not expand the infinite, to expand the finite. Think about that. We're here to expand the finite. We can't contract the infinite and bring it down to us. But what we can do is expand the finite concepts that are running around in the world. We can become the consciousness that is so strong, so powerful, that it absolutely transforms society. And that is happening, whether you think it is or not, because the breakdowns that are happening are simply opening the way for the breakthroughs that are the next era, the next, the next unfoldment of humanity. And I'm saying unfoldment because unfoldment means it's already here. It's just unfolding. It's not the creation of something new. It's already here. It's unfolding. It's unfolding from within you. It's unfolding from within me. It's unfolding from within all of us collectively. There's a light that's happening on the planet now that's so powerful, so awesome. You see these collective meditations taking place, and so much of social networking is really good stuff. It's really spiritual stuff. You just have to stay on course. you know um, so I could go on and on and on, but I'm not going to go on and on and on. I'm just going to say, God is your life. Accept it. Be it. Be sometimes it's being courageous enough to simply say, yes, I'm accepting it, I'm believing it, I'm knowing it, even when you don't feel it, because eventually you're going to get down to the feeling. It'll begin in the intellect, and it'll come down into your heart, and your heart is the place that knows. And I could do a whole other talk on this, but your brain usually bases its knowledge on the past. That's not real helpful all the time. But your heart Your heart's your intuition. Your heart is your love. Your heart is your essence. Your heart is your divine. And when you get that brain and that heart in sync, that's powerful. That's powerful. So open up to both. We don't want to get rid of the brain. Good Lord, we'd be in a mess if we didn't have a brain, you know. But just know, yeah, just be it. Just be it. And then receive, 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 and give, and give, and give, and give. You can't outgive the infinite. You can't. And we all know, law of circulation. What you give, you receive. So your heritage is to receive all of this and to share it. That's the other part of your heritage, to share it, to give it, to be that light on the planet in your unique way. In the way you do it, nobody else can do it. Nobody. I like to say, you know, everybody is a once in eternity happening, you know, a unique way that spirit expresses, a unique way that heaven has come to earth. That's what you are. That's what you're here for. And so that's my pep talk for today. my talk for today. So thank you for listening. And we're just going to turn within for some prayer right now. So I invite you to take another deep breath. And I always begin prayer with gratitude. So grateful for this community, so grateful for this time together, so grateful for David's leadership, so grateful for the music today, for Gary's music, so grateful for all who have spoken, for all who have prayed, so grateful for everyone who shows up in this beloved community. Just grateful. And grateful for the beauty of this day, for the beauty of nature, for the warmth, for the sunshine. So grateful. And in this place of gratitude, acknowledging the one for which I am most grateful. One presence, one power, one life, one love, one intelligence. That one that is known by so many names. And yet it's all the same thing. The life force, the energy, God, Allah, all these names, Adonai, all these names for the infinite. And yet it's all the same thing. And I'm grateful to be in the awareness of this truth, to know that because there is only the one, it is who and what I am. Not only it is who and what I am, it is who and what everybody on this call is. Each one of us is the divine. We are here by divine heritage. And it's true of us, it's true of everybody everywhere. The I that is we, there's only one. And so what I know about this one is that deep within each and every one of us is the awareness, the I am presence that knows itself as divine. And so I'm claiming a deeper, more expanded realization of the divinity of each and every one of us within our consciousness. We expand, we grow, we unfold to our greatest yet to be. And as we do so, we bless all of life. As we do so, the love within us, the love, the joy, the harmony, the abundance, the peace, the beauty, the order, the wholeness and the perfection, all of this and more is activated by the power of the word, by the power of our awareness. And so I know that it's all good, that it's all unfolding to perfection. And so I give thanks for this. I am so grateful for the word spoken. I'm so grateful because I know it's already done in spirit. We've already been given all of it. And so I release it now, letting it go, taking my hands off, encouraging all of you to take your hands off and simply let God be God as you. And just watch how your life continually unfolds, how joy and peace and love abound in you. I'm grateful. So I let it be now. And so it is. Amen.
I am who I am, that is that. I am who I am, that is that. I am who I am, that is that. I am who I am, thank God I am. I am who I am, that is that. I am who I am, that is that. I am who I am, that is that. I am who I am, thank God I am. I am who I am, that is that. I am who you are looking back. You are who I am, can you imagine that? There is one God and that's a fact. Joy to the world, peace on the earth. God bless the children, 'cause we love them. Joy to the world, peace on the earth. God bless the children, 'cause we love them, we love them. I am who I am, that is that. I am who I am, that is that. I am who I am, that is that. I am who I am, thank God I am. I am who I am, that is that. I am who you are looking back. You are who I am, can you imagine that? There is one God and that's a fact. Joy to the world, peace on the earth. God bless the children, 'cause we love them. Joy to the world, peace on the earth. God bless the children, 'cause we love them. I am who I am, that is that. I am who I am, that is that. I am who I am, that is that. I am who I am, thank God I am.
So spend a couple moments just looking at this beautiful, I see it as a mystical autumn scene. Just let yourself fall into it for a few moments. Taking 3 deep cleansing breaths with me to release what no longer serves us and bring relaxation to our minds and bodies. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Once more, inhale and exhale. Gently close your eyes if you choose to, or just continue to gaze at this beautiful picture. When I close my eyes, I see the color orange surrounding the color green, like it is signifying the changing of the leaves, the changing of the season. There are new experiences and opportunities ahead of us. Feeling the change in the weather, sneakers replace sandals, sweaters replace tank tops. Iced tea gives way to hot tea or the ever popular pumpkin spice latte. Changes in nature, in weather, changes in the moon cycle, and autumn may bring changes in you as well. Maybe change is becoming more aware of how grateful we are for what we have, who we are right now. Appreciating the cycle of life, looking forward to the new adventures and opportunities that each season brings. As we spend more time indoors than out, we can also turn inward taking the time to go into the stillness, connecting with spirit and our true selves. Taking another deep inhale and exhale. Concentrate on your rhythmic breathing and the slow, steady beat of your heart. With your body in a relaxed state, feel your mind quieting in peace and calm. And let us go into the silence together for a few moments of quiet reflection. Slowly returning to the present, we open our hearts to divine guidance, knowing that Spirit is always with us and within us, guiding us, loving us, protecting us. We look forward to hearing Reverend Joan's inspiring message and listening to Gary's uplifting music. We are filled with gratitude for the blessings of today's service, for our loving and supporting Unity community. We are so very grateful for all we have and all our blessings, knowing all is well, and so it is.